welcome to Essential Oils with Christy. We're going to talk about experiential evidence first. We're probably going to talk about it first in every video, so if this isn't your first one, you can fast forward a little bit, but there's always a little bit of my personal experience in here, so you might want to stick around. Experiential evidence means that I know something based on my personal experience, or you know something based on your personal experience. It didn't involve a lab somewhere or people with degrees on their wall who decided it was so. It means it happened, it was witnessed personally, and we know based on our experience that A led to B, led to C, and we want to share that as truth. Okay? So, experiential evidence also means that the FDA was not involved. So in no way, shape, or form can I, should I, or will I claim to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure anything. Okay? I'm simply sharing my experiences about what happened so that I can share it with others as a possibility. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, if you've got questions about that, you are welcome to post them below and open up a discussion regarding that. Experiential evidence is super important because experiential evidence is what leads to all kinds of beautiful discoveries in this world. Experiential evidence is what leads us to learn how to walk, talk, eat, breathe, speak. All of those things are based on our personal experiences so that we can learn and grow. The same thing happens when we encounter something new in our adult life or when we're caring for others. Wild orange was my first experiential evidence oil. Okay? So that's why we're starting with wild orange, because it was where I started. It's where my essential oil journey started. And I want to share why it was so impactful for me and for my family. So let's dive in. Wild orange was what was first introduced to me and first given to me by a person I hadn't seen in many years. They happened to cross my path for lots of beautiful reasons because this stuff was definitely meant to be in my life. And the bottle I had was smaller. It was a little sample bottle. And what happened was such a blessing in our lives. And but when it was given to me, all the things in Western medicine that are beautiful and good were still in my head, telling me, though, that what I was being told about what was in this bottle was not true. And I needed to learn for myself, right? I needed to have my own experiential evidence. So I was given this little bottle of wild orange, and I said, oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Yep. Okay, bye-bye now. And I sent them on their way. And I put that little bottle on a shelf and it collected dust. And I thought, oh, this would be great with dark chocolate. So at the time I was making cakes, so I used it with dark chocolate in a cake, and it was really, really good. And then I used it in hot chocolate, and it was really, really good. And one drop, super powerful. We'll talk about that later. And so I wasn't going through it very fast. And I thought, wow, I wonder what else I could use this on. Well, things started to come back to me. Things like what the person who shared this with me had said, and conversations with my dad about biochemistry. Now, don't start snoring. Biochemistry can be very exciting, and I love explaining it in a way that is super understandable. So when we're talking about biochemistry in this instance, we're talking about the ability of the body to process things, what it does and doesn't do, and why. Specifically, we're talking about the protective layer on a cell in the body, and that is lipid or lipolic or oil based. So the word that most of you are going to be familiar with is oil based. So I'm going to stick with that, but understand, if you're a little bit more advanced in chemistry and biology, that lipid or lipolic is what I'm meaning. So when people who are in chemistry and stuff are talking about lipolic action, they are talking about the ability of oil-based fluids to move through and with each other, okay? In the most simple terms. Now, if you're a scientist and you've got your beakers and you're in the lab, don't be dissing me. I want to make this super understandable. So we're keeping it basic, okay? So lipolic action is how body chemistry flows. okay? So every cell in our body has that lipolic or oil-based protective layer. It's our body's way of saying, hey, nope, don't like you, you can't come in, or, oh, I recognize you. Yeah, come on in. So when we talk about an essential oil, probably 30 steps ahead of me already, aren't you? It's oil-based. It's also 100% natural, especially if it came from doTERRA. So when doTERRA gives you an essential oil, this one is wild orange, a mixture of different oranges, and we're going to talk about that in a second in the sourcing video. This is all essential oil. There's nothing else in here. When doTERRA says 100% pure oil, they mean the whole bottle, not just one drop that was 100% that got put in with a bunch of other fillers and fragrances and created stuff, whatever. No, the whole bottle is all drops from the peel of the wild orange. So I'm going to get back to my experiential evidence. I started thinking about that biochemistry and lipolic action and what it could possibly do. And then I started looking up the chemical constituents of the wild orange essential oil. And there's a beautiful book out there by a lady named PJ Hanks called Essential Oils Unlocked. And if you want to learn a little bit about biochemistry and a whole lot about why each specific oil can do what it does, you get that book, Essential Oils Unlocked by PJ Hanks. The earlier editions are out of print because she just keeps making it more and more phenomenal. I guarantee you it's worth the purchase, even if you're not in the biochemistry, even if you say, Christy, if you say it works, I'll use it. Listen, have it as a backup on your shelf somewhere, because someday you're going to want to say, oh, I wish I could look that up. Go look it up, my friends. Essential Oils Unlocked, PJ Hanks. Beautiful book. Do it. So anyway, so I got a hold of that book and I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I looked up wild orange and I was looking at all the things and I said, well, we've got a problem in our household. My oldest daughter is why I began this essential oil journey. Now, there's very little of a couple of very specific properties that I was looking for that are in wild orange. But I had them and I had the bottle. And I knew if it was true that this bottle was 100% pure essential oil, and that there were all these thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of molecules in each drop, that there was sufficient amount of that property that I was looking for to do what my child needed. And what my child needed was support with an inflammatory response, okay? So an inflammatory response is something that happens when the body is trying to send up a flare or a red flag and is saying, hello, pay attention, there's something wrong here, we don't like it. Okay, so whatever's happening to create that process, the body is sending up a red alert. In order to take care of that red alert, you have to go to the source. So there's no amount of placebos or like bandage covering that's going to take care of the source. You might be able to ease the things that are the red flags or the flares, right? The pain from the inflammation or the inflammation itself or the redness or the tightness or the pain in the joint, whatever it is that is the red flag, you might be able to ease that. But if you don't get to the source or the cause, then it's going to continue every time you stop using that bandage or that ointment or whatever it is that's only treating the symptoms, okay? Now, a lot of people can make that same mistake using essential oils. They just keep treating the symptoms without ever getting to the source. And the beautiful thing is that if they're using doTERRA essential oils to do that, they're not creating a situation where there's a buildup of toxins and side effects going on, but they're not getting to the problem. And I'm all about getting to the root source of the problem. I don't want to just keep throwing things at my body without intensive purpose. I want to take really good care of the body that I've been given and the bodies that my children have been given. I firmly believe our Creator intended us to take good care of our bodies. Whatever your belief system, if you're here, I know it's because you cherish the body you have and you want to take care of it in the best way possible. So all of that said, my experiential evidence soon became that if I used this bottle, see, not a professional, this bottle right here, I knew that the biochemistry would get to work and the red flags of inflammation would start to go down. okay? And if I knew that if that happened, then I could find the right essential oils with the right biochemistry to take care of the source of the problem. And fortunately for me, I already knew what the source of the problem was. So right now, we're going to kick it over to sourcing of wild orange. Enjoy. I'll be back in 2.5 minutes.
We're here at the CHB, Christodoulou Brothers Company, and in Greece, in the region of Nafpliou. CHB Brothers are a second generation company, and this is a perfect region with a perfect soil to produce oranges and the best quality of oranges around the world. This producer has been partnering with doTERRA for more than 4 years now. They are very concerned with the sustainability and the environment.
First of all, we advise our farmers to adopt sustainable practices that long-term are going to give him more profit, but also protect the environment. Second of all, we as producers, we are making big steps in water management, waste management, and of course, we're trying to use the fruit in a 360 way so that it doesn't become waste.
They have about 3,000 producers of orange in this region, and actually doTERRA is funding renovation of their learning center so they can bring all the producers to receive training, to receive education.
So in our premises in Nafpliou, we are proud to have 100 people working with us.
So we need about 2,000 fruits of orange to produce 1 liter of oil. So the harvest season of orange goes from November to May, which is the coolest part of the year. doTERRA has citrus partners in Brazil, Greece, and Italy. And then we can produce the perfect proprietary blend for doTERRA.
And we believe that even the smell or the touch of the orange can make them understand the purity and how natural is our end product and how close it is from the field to the actual bottle.
We try to find partners with the same culture, which cares about the producer. So we're looking forward to increase the production here. We want to triple our impact by 2030. So the idea is to impact more than 10,000 lives here in Greece with the oil production.
Okay, so let's talk about some important bullet point information pieces about wild orange oil. Wild orange is great at supporting joy. If you've ever been into the Pearl District in Oregon or any other place where there are lots of those beautiful and ornate Asian market stores, you will notice the scent of citrus because they have known far longer than the rest of the world that the scent of citrus enhances the feelings of joy and abundance. And when you feel joy and abundance, you are far more eager to share what you have. And I think it's a beautiful way to invite people into your shop, into your home, into your life, into your car. I love smelling wild orange everywhere, and I love knowing that I am supporting other systems in my body as well, including the neurological system, most specifically the muscular and circulatory systems. So there are lots of studies out there about wild orange. I encourage you to go to pubmed.gov and look up wild orange. You'll find up a plethora of amazing information. Once again, that's pub.med.gov, G-O-V, and you can look up all those beautiful studies that have done about those essential oils and what the topics were specifically for. Amazing stuff. So all the biochemistry I spoke about earlier that I was geeking out on, that kind of stuff in much more detail, and you will thoroughly enjoy that. Some other things are supporting your metabolism. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful thing to support. Imagine having wild orange in your diffuser first thing in the morning. Let's go. So beautiful things. So when we're talking specifically about emotions, I want to dig into that a little bit. Another favorite book of mine, we talked about Essential Oils Unlocked by PJ Hanks earlier. Okay. Another book that I absolutely love, I actually prefer in an app on my phone because I can sort by emotion, body part, or essential oil or body system. Amazing way to use oils. Okay. So for Understanding essential oils. I love Essential Oils Unlocked by PJ Hanks. For usage, I love the Essential Emotions app. It's like a teal green background with a white drop on it, at least as of this moment. And it's available for all drives, iOS and other. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but the information that I'm giving to you right now is from that app. So it's not information I came up with myself. It has been the experiential evidence of hundreds of thousands of people, okay? So Wild Orange addresses a wide variety of emotional issues. It inspires abundance, fosters creativity, and supports a positive mood. Wild Orange also reconnects individuals with their inner child. If you are experiencing thoughts of scarcity, rigidity, discouragement, envy, if life is feeling a little bit dull, check out using Wild Orange aromatically in the diffuser. A couple drops on your belly button, or, oh my gosh, my thing just skipped. Let's see. Or one drop under your tongue. That's what it skipped on there. So one drop under your tongue is one of my favorite ways to use Wild Orange, or putting it in my hot chocolate, which I have right here. I do not trust myself not to spill, so I'm not drinking it while on camera. Wild Orange has a deep, rich, tangy, sweet, tart aroma, unlike any other orange that we know of, and may be used as you would sweet orange. It's certain to have interesting uses in natural perfumery and in other options. 8 ways to use Wild Orange essential oil. Freshening the air. One of the most distinct characteristics of Wild Orange essential oil is its powerful scent. The strong, sweet, citrusy scent makes it useful for freshening the air, promoting an energizing and wonderful room. Cleansing surfaces. Wild Orange can be used much like lemon, and you can put it in your cleansers and use to wipe down any surface frequently when you want to cleanse and purify them. Okay, not only is Wild Orange helpful for those things, but it's also delicious. For breakfast, you could make my favorite, which is a dreamsicle smoothie. Okay, so we're gonna go completely off script, and I'm gonna tell you how I make my dreamsicle smoothie. It's one of my favorite things. First of all, it's a great way to have a treat first thing in the morning. Second, it's cooling and wonderful, and I live in the South, and so even in the morning it's really hot, so I like to have a cold breakfast. Thirdly, you can pack a smoothie so full of nutrition, especially if you have kids who are like harbingers of texture and different flavors, and a smoothie is the only way to get nutrition in them for the whole day. You pack it full, right? So a dreamsicle smoothie is my favorite way to go for that. So honey vanilla yogurt, my favorite, as organic whole milk yogurt, because you get all the nutrients and all the good probiotics in there, okay? And then a packet of doTERRA's probiotics, and then a packet of the VMG Plus, okay? And then 2 drops of Wild Orange, and then the milk of choice. I prefer organic whole cow's milk for my children, but you can choose whatever milk you prefer. And then I like to take 1 drop of doTERRA's vanilla. Yeah, they've got vanilla. Oh my gosh. So 2 drops of the Wild Orange, 1 drop of the vanilla, the probiotic goodness, the yogurt goodness, the VMG Plus goodness that gives you all those fruit and vegetable nutrients for the day, okay? You mix that in there, you put the dairy in, and then I like to add the tri-berry blend for lots of antioxidants, okay? So the tri-berry blend that I prefer does not have strawberries in it, okay? It's blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries. You're getting more bang for the buck. Strawberries are yummy, but they're also kind of just a sugar filler. So if you really want to get the nutrients out of the berries, you're going to get the tri-berry blend that does not have the strawberries in it. It costs a tiny bit more, but you don't have to use near as much of the berries in each smoothie mix, okay, to get the same amount of nutrients, because you're getting way more antioxidants. So there's my thing. It's not that I have anything against strawberries. They're just not super packed with nutrients like the others are, okay? So, and I blend all those up in the blender, and I pour them out, I throw the lids and straws on, and my children suck them down. I've been doing it for more than a decade now, and it is the favorite breakfast. There is also something from doTERRA called the XE Omega Plus. It is a chewable soft gel. and it has marine lipids in it, but they included wild orange in it, and it doesn't taste like marine lipids. It tastes like orange. So you can poke that and squeeze the oils out in there, or your kids can chew on them, or you can throw the whole thing in there if you're going to run the blender long enough, because you don't want little bits of the chewy in there, right? So there is the recipe. There's all my fun little factoids about wild orange. This is my first video, so please forgive all my errors. I'm about to go sit down and try editing videos for the first time, and I cannot wait to see you again. This has become a passion project that I just have procrastinated for way too long. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.